Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lungleng Show. Tonight, we'll have a conversation around the visit homecoming of TH Muivah in Ukhrul district. Now, he has made his trip now in Somtal, which is his birthplace, the village where he hails from, and now he's going to be reportedly be there in the village for quite a few days, and after that, he'll be heading back for sure to Dimapur. Now, as we have been observing this event, the turnout of this event, it will be very crucial to even have a discussion around the significance or even the relevance of his visit and what has changed since 2010. Because if we recall history briefly, he visited Ukhrul in 2000. He tried to visit Ukhrul in 2010, but it was strongly opposed by the Ipobi government of Manipur. So he was not able to make it. But what has changed, and what is going to be also changed in the near future? So I think for this purpose, we have invited Mr. El Siro. He has been a student activist, a political activist, and strong voice for the Naga political rights. And currently, as well as he holds a portfolio in the National People's Party as national executive member. So we'll have a discussion around this topic. And he was personally there during the home visit reception of NSCN-IM Adokilonser DH Muivah. So he will share the experience, a hands-on experience in the ground on what really happened and what people really felt at that very event. So thanks so much, Mr. Siro, for joining in this conversation, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So just to kick off our conversation, I think let's just take a look at it. When the leader of the NSNIM DH Muivah, Atok Lancer, in other words, the Prime Minister visited yesterday, there was a massive reception organized, and we could see the emotions of people arose and welcoming him. Because that was a visit after more than 5 decades, and that's unthinkable as from a very ordinary human perspective to go back to your place, to your birthplace after 5 decades. So, and you and I are still, um, below 50 years of age. So that is still like his absence in his own hometown. His absence or him not coming back to his own hometown is still older than us. So I would like to know your first-hand experience on what actually happened. What were the emotions? How was the emotions of people when he visited and when people got to see him yesterday?
Yeah, thank you very much to Lungleng Show for inviting me in your esteemed podcast. Yesterday's visit was a very historic one. And like you mentioned, this is a continuation of 2010 when he planned to visit Ukru district and Somdal village where he was born. But somehow 2010 could not be materialized. But this time things were very peaceful, and the support that we received, not only from the Naga communities, but across communities, even from the valley communities who were otherwise opposing his visit in 2010. So I think that change was there. But more so, when it comes to the participations, like in the event, the Tangkul Nagalong president mentions that he has never seen such a gathering in his lifetime. So that was, I think that sufficed the level of the people's excitement, support given to the our beloved leader, DH Muivah Atokilon, sir. And just to give you the ideas of people participations, our Atokilon sir landed in Bakshi ground, which is approximately 2.5 kilometers away from the main venue, which is the Ukru district headquarters ground. So from Ukru district headquarters ground to the airport, it is, like I said, 2.5. From 2.5 kilometers, there were two human chain formed on two lines on both sides of the road. So that is one huge participation response from especially the student bodies and student communities, students, and in the main this event, the area comes to around 450 by 350 feet. So even the ground was completely jam packed. Likewise, in the this one in the helipad area, which is the Pakshi ground, there was a lot of people participating in his reception. So, in a nutshell, This was perhaps the biggest ever gathering, but maybe in the entire hill districts, to receive uh, any leader in a manner that was shown in Ukhrul district.
Hmm. And now that you mentioned, it was not possible in 2010, and we when when we look back, we saw that the Meitei's civil societies in 2010, along with the government of Manipur, they were strongly opposing that, opposing to his plan of visit to Ukhrul in 2010. And what do you think, as someone who is in the ground and who has been talking to civil societies and who has been part of this political process? How is your assessment, as in, like, what has changed? And since 2010, is there a factor of the Kuki Meitei conflict? Is there a is a factor like that playing the role for Meitei civil societies, even other Kuki civil societies, welcoming his home visit? Because this is such a
I
drastic
think
change. And yeah, if you can just
I
shed light
think
on that.
even in 2010, we cannot just say that this was opposition was from the ethnic communities from the Manipur or from neighboring states. I think we have to go back to the history. In 1997, when the ceasefire started, it was very clear that they wanted to find a negotiated political settlement through peaceful dialogue. That was the spirit. And through that, yes, the recognition came on the 11th July 2002 that Naga history is recognized and our unique position. So, in good gesture, when the government of India, after recognizing the Naga history, when they requested our two leaders against the three principles on which the ceasefire started, that is, it should be at the highest level and in the third country and without any conditions. Breaking that norms in good spirit, and then with the logic that the government of India was telling our leaders that since the settlement has to be between government of India and the Naga representative uh, led by DH Muivah and NSCN, it is important that we talk to the people, not only to the Nagas, but also to the Indian leaderships, and also to understand the Indian system. That was one aspect. And as they continue the dialogue, there was also a need for the Naga leaders to speak to various Naga communities so that we are able to expedite the process. Secondly, another aspect of the talks includes creating a goodwill understanding with our neighboring communities. So I think a lot of complexities started, uh, India propping up started a lot of complexity started propping up in the course of discussions. So in good spirit, DH Muivah wanted to visit Ukhrul, and government of India, when during the time Mr. Chidambaram was the home minister, it was it was already published that in the various newspaper reporting that home minister has accepted and granted that yes, you have every right to visit your home birthplace. But later on, government of Manipur is under government of India. But when government of Manipur rejected his planned visit, government of India was not able to somehow control them. So I think there was insincerity on the part of government of India. So once they started engineering such kind of insincere approach towards the whole journey, then obviously various communities or individuals who doesn't want to see peaceful resolutions took advantage, and that is how the unfortunate incidents of a lot of atrocities to our people, and unfortunately two students were killed. All this
Mm.
incident happened, and finally our leaders,
Yeah,
knowing
yeah.
that the
Thanks.
casualties will
Yeah.
be. Mm,
Okay, thanks for shedding light on it. Yeah, like you correctly mentioned, there were two Mao Naga students who were killed by the Manipur police when they protested that DH Muivah has the right to visit to his hometown, but the Manipur police was going against that protest, and leading to the killing of two Mao Naga students. And still, the Naga UNC, the United Naga Council, the back body of the Nagas from Manipur still observe that very day every single year. So that is what happened. But you, as someone who is currently engaged with the National, People's Party, even at the Indian political party level, what is your opinion? Why was the Congress very cowardice when it comes to letting somebody visit his own hometown? And now coming back to now this year, BJP, although it's under presidential rule currently, we can see that they had no problem at all. There was no restriction. I just want to hear different opinion, different views on why it is made possible. Is it because of the BJP government, or is it because of the Kuki Meitei conflict, that the conflict was so brutal that now Kukis as well as Meiteis, they have started eyeing towards the Nagas as just giving their olive, handing out their olive branch towards the Nagas? Or could it be because TH Muivah does not hold much significance in the Naga political um, platform anymore? So how would you like to assess on this? Because it's very crucial to understand and compare these the two differences. It's just like the night and day when you look back to history and when you assess what has just happened.
Yeah, like you rightly mentioned, the ongoing conflict since the 3rd of May 2023, and then their inability to reconcile, and both the parties, the warring communities, both Kuki-Zo as well as the Meitei, yeah, they are they are also under a lot of pressures, difficulties as to how to overcome this separations, and then the hostilities. So I think that partly it will have a contributions, but also largely I think it is also the way the indigenous people try to understand the issue of one another. On this, I
Mm-hmm.
think I should give credits to the Naga leaderships, both
Mm,
the leadership from Hebron as well as the civil societies. I think after the unfortunate incident of 2010, and of course with the change of even leadership, the Congress was, yes, in a way, very, very hostile under the leadership of Ivobi. But with the
mm-hmm.
transitions of BJP, and the BJP being in the central government, BJP being the party that is holding talks with the Naga group. So in a way, I think that approach, that even the Prime Minister himself is trying to hammer out the issue through peaceful means. So I think in a way that encourages the BJP leadership, then BJP government, Biren Singh government, in his first term as well as in his second term. They were more, I think, receptive in terms of finding solutions. So somehow, like I was mentioning, the Naga civil societies as well as the leadership from the Hebron, as well as their groups, various revolutionary groups, their way of dialogues, engagement. I think in a way that somehow has created a more conducive environment, an environment where they are sympathetic to one another. So I think that conversation, that dialogue, in a way, pave way to the kind of environment that we are witnessing today.
Mm-hmm. I'm really impressed by the way you mentioned, the ethnic communities, especially the indigenous communities of Manipur. They are now getting to understand that peace is the only way forward and trying to accommodate each other's needs. So I think this is a great development as to, is one way, one step forward to peace. And I mean, everybody wished that this kind of understanding towards each other communities was there since from the beginning, so that there would be no bloodshed like the recent conflict that had happened. And we don't hear much about, the voices from the Kuki side, but still, of course, they're not opposed to this visit as well. Of course, they have their own grievances. Now, keeping this in mind, his visit is not just a visit, but it's also a way giving a message that he is also an indigenous people of Manipur, and for whom he considers Manipur or his place as the southern Naga area, or in his words, it would be southern Nagalim. And how would you like to assess the future of Manipur, as in terms of accommodating each other, as th- three major communities reside together in this state?
I think the one simple fact is that in any, if we look at if we take the example of electoral politics, we often say anti-incumbency factor. So if one government rule for 5 years, then that anti-incumbency factor is there. Two term, 10 years, and more anti-incumbency factor. So different political party will come in and carry forward the government. So, but in the case of Naga, the very fact that Atok Kilongsa T.H. Muivah has been in the helms of Naga politics since 1964, and he was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in 1965 February he was made the general secretary. So that means 60 years he has been general secretary. So if you convert that into terms, it's more than 13 terms. So I don't think any government without huge mass support, you cannot yeah, continue your leadership. But yesterday's grand visit and grand ceremony, supported by thousands and thousands of people, shows that the aspirations and the visions that he carries, that is the collective aspirations of the Naga people. So the southern Naga peoples, they are also their destiny is intertwined with the rest of the Naga people. Whether the Naga people living in Burma, whether the Naga people living in Nagaland or rest of the Indian states, so their futures are destined together. And any force that try to separate from through different means, I think that will not work. And as you can see, even in the case of Manipur, when you say Southern Nagaland, in 1947, under the leadership of Taiho, a one Mao popular leader, he and I'm told that even Suisa also supported. So they formed a Naga National League. They also strongly advocated before even the India got independent, formally India got independent. They were saying that during the British time that they should be part of uh, this Kohima district, the Nagaland district. I think it was known as Kohima district. So the Naga areas, which was earlier part of the Manipur uh, Manipur jurisdictions, they were strongly and no house tax were campaigned, and 3 people were killed by the Korka regiment. So I think that there is a lot of histories to it, and just because we have this the modern complexities due to the state formations under the government of India, we cannot completely we cannot completely isolate this 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 historical I mean aspiration historical struggles of the Naga people. So I think it's we
Mm,
have to, of course, like we were talking about the conversation, understanding one another. Yes, we need to be open minded, but at the same time, uh, rest of our neighboring communities also, they have to be they have to understand that the Naga people's destiny is intertwined, and we have to live together. That has been the cherished dreams of so many Naga generations, and for which Nagas have paid a very heavy price. And just
mm,
because there is a modern complexities, because of the formation of various Indian states, I don't think the Naga leadership will simply, or the Naga people will simply overlook the historicals and the long struggles and sacrifice of the Naga people.
mm. Yeah, that's a wonderful assessment that you have given. And I mean, coming back to his the event, the reception that was held yesterday, can you tell me like what was the message given by the NSCN leadership to the people who have just gathered there to just show him respect and honor in his visit? Like, what was the message strongly given by the leadership to the people who have gathered?
Uh, the message was read out by Deputy Ato Kelenser, retired Lieutenant General V.S. Atem, and the message was very clear in the 5-6 pages message. The time and again, it was the solutions for the Naga problems. They keep on reminding to every one of us, as well as to the government of India, that the solution has to be based on the 11 July Amsterdam Communique and the 3rd August 2015 Framework Agreement, without which there is no solution. So when our tallest and the courageous revolutionary figure, or one of the courageous revolutionary figure, and supported and loved by so many Nagas across bound- boundaries, both international and state boundaries. When in his later part of his life, perhaps this might be the most significant message ever that he will give in his lifetime. So when he was giving that speech, I think it was very categorical that the Naga issues moving forward, it has to be completely based on the, like I said, Amsterdam Communique and the framework agreements. Dilutions of that will be a negations of Naga principle. So I think that was a strong, I think, positions or the strong in front of everyone, in front of his supporters, also in the presence of media. There was a huge media presence. So this, although it was a bit long message, but we could sense the importance of highlighting every point because this should be the guiding principles moving forward. Because as you know, despite framework agreement signed in 2015, 3rd August, it's been more than 10 years, but still then no concrete solution has been worked out. So I think the leader was trying to emphasize that to the Naga people as well as reminding to the government of India that if we have to seek peace and solution, the foundation has to be based on this communique and the framework agreement. So I think that was the main message emphasizing on his speech.
So as a young leader, do you have hope that things or demands like this can be one day materialized and Nagas' rights can be restored so that Nagas will have some sort of a self-determination mechanism to govern themselves? As you have been part of different kinds of political system, like in terms of as a student activist, student leaders activist, or even in terms of a political leader, in terms of as a political activist, or in terms of coming to the rights of the Nagas, you have been exposed to all these kinds of environments. Now, keeping in mind your experience in these fields, I also would like to understand, as a young leader or upcoming leader, what is your hope when it comes to the Naga political problem? Like, will we see materialization of this issue in our time, or what is your take on that?
I think the Naga journey itself, or the last 70 years plus, itself shows that in a way our movement is strengthening Indian democracy, perfecting Indian democracy. I am saying this with a very specific example. India, when they got independent, it started with 15 states, big states. Nagaland was the 16th state, born in 1963. Before that, creation of small state like Nagaland was impossible to think. But in a way, it was the Nagaland, the Naga movement that made possible. After that, how many states has been created? So this is one example how it is. And there are many Indian state right now, whether it's Karnataka, it's Tamil, or maybe Jammu and Kashmir. They are also demanding flag. They are even in Jammu and Kashmir before this 370 was abrogated. They have their separate constitution and separate flag. So that was possible in a way. And there are many Indian states who wants that. So I think India at the moment it's governing with a sense of insecurity. So I think if the union government always governed with a sense of insecurity, then India will break apart. I think that kind of the sense of one belongingness, the sense of ownership has to be respected. Take for example, even a communist country like China, Hong Kong has its own basic law, more like the constitutions of their own, and they have their own flag, and they have the right to participate in various international sporting events, even in Olympic and various other platforms. So in a way, if the communist states can come up with such innovative and also uh, political solutions, why not India, being the largest democracy, can come out with innovative and a way workable solutions, respecting the Naga history and Naga long struggles which Naga have faced with a very heavy price. And I think even today's generations, when I was just thinking, when in 2.5 kilometers stretch of road, both sides remain changed by student communities. On broad daylight, when they see the hero, they are questioning who is this T.H. Muivah? What he what is this man, what he represents to the Naga people. So many questions. So I think if this question will not die down, it's going to blossom in maybe in a much bigger force. So I think if a communist Chinese or communist country like
Mhm.
China can come up with a unique solution, I think government of India, if they have the political will, can also come up with a unique solution, and also even in a framework agreement they have rightly mentioned that sovereignty in the universally accepted principle, sovereignty lies with the people. So I think the Naga desire, aspiration is our sovereignty. So I think that respecting to that sovereignty is, I think, that is a way forward.
Thank you, thank you. I think that's a strong point, as in, if a communist country like China can accommodate politically and have some arrangement for their own people, why not India as a democratic country, one the largest democracy in the world? I mean, whether it's effective democracy or non-effective democracy, that's a topic for another day. But it's worth pondering on that line as well. But now I would like to also understand, you know, we can see that Meitei civil societies were very much in support of his visit, and although D.H. Muivah's fight for the Nagas against the government of India is that for demand of the territorial integration of the Nagas. And that is totally against the idea of the sentiments of the people of Manipur, as mostly in the Imphal Valley. So I want to know, like from your from your brief assessment, as in what was in their minds, in the minds of the many civil societies, that they were able to come and support his visit and give a resounding reception on the Meidi civil societies. I mean, mention may be made of the Kokomi group as well. So I would like to understand what was in their minds that they were able to give out support like that, despite knowing fully well that Muivah's fight for the Nagas is, not good for the territorial integrity of Manipur state as well. What's your assessment?
I think one thing is one of the main binding forces that made they come closer to us and or Naga closer to them is Atoki Lonser's bold statement that there are only two indigenous people in the state of Manipur, that is Nagas and the Métis. I think that in a way opens a lot of opportunity for both the communities to talk. But yeah, having said that, yes, like you rightly mentioned, the Naga dream is not to stay with Manipur state forever. We have our own future, our own destiny. And as per the Naga leadership, when I talk to the leadership, I think their position is very clear when it comes to the Naga territory. They say that Nagas are living in the hill areas. Right now, there is no area where live in the Naga areas. And of course, there is a protections by the through the constitutional this one guarantee in the form of Article 371C that defines the hill areas. So this they cannot come, but there are also constant means and through their assembly and through the state government, they are trying to extend the Manipur Land Revenue and Land Reform Act in the hill areas. But anyway, that protection is there. So the Naga leadership assertion is that whatever the ancestral homeland or the land where the Naga people live in the state of Manipur, we want
Mm,
that land to be integrated as one administrative unit. So it does not encroach, infringe, or take away any land that belongs to the Métis. So I think the leadership explanation is very clear on that part. But yes,
mm,
uh, there is also a reality, a fact that when it comes to the power structures, when it comes to the government, yes, in the valley they have 40 MLAs, through which they have upper hand in terms of government formation, thereby allowing them to somehow controlling all the state funds, development, infrastructure. So in a way, once the hill areas, especially the Naga areas, somehow bifurcates from the state of Manipur, it reduces their scope of such advantage, in terms of fund, in terms of exercise of power, political power. So all this will go away. So I think mostly, I think the contention seems to be on that area, on that front.
So on the last note, as a last, on concluding note, I would just like to understand, had the government of India proposed a solution to the Naga political problem this time, or maybe even to the point of special arrangement for the Nagas of Manipur, Nagas of Assam, Nagas of Arunachal Pradesh, and now let's specifically look at the Nagas of Manipur. Had the government of India arranged something to bring this political solution to this political problem, Naga political problem, then in this very conducive environment, in this environment where the Meitei civil societies are strongly supporting the ID, the Naga leadership, so I'm of the sense, I'm having a sense that this is the best time for the government of India also to trash out this differences and this problem and bring solutions so that there will be no major or stiff opposition from the Meitei civil societies, because they have been also strongly opposing the idea of a Naga national movement. And so don't you think this is an opportune time for the government of India also to exercise this power to bring an end to this political problem?
Yeah, I think one is yes, when you look at the environment, yes, conducive environment is one aspect. The second aspect is that when the talk started in 1997, before that, a lot of the discussions, back channel discussions were taking place, mainly with Rajesh Pilot and our leaders, Isaac Chisisu and uh, Ato Kilonsa TH Muivah and other leaderships. So when these back channel discussions were taking place, the spirit was that they will find a solutions in their leaderships. But you see, Ajik Chisisu is not with us. We never know when. Right? We wish that Avakar live, DH Muivah lives a very long life, but we cannot wish away that the natural course of our life cycle. That is the reality we have to accept. So time is passing by, and it will be a huge blow to the government of India if solution is not hammered out in the lifetime of DH Muivah. In fact, we want both the tallest, the tallest two Naga leaders that has been leading the movement since 1975 onwards to be part of that victory day. So I think people will start questioning if, with all sincerity, if these two tall leaders made a lot of concessions, like I was saying in the beginning, coming to India, compromising in one of the principle. Again, is that in 2010, government of India says that yes, in fact, they said no problem in visiting your home state and your birthplace, but creating another problems, and they were not able to control. No one would believe that government of India cannot control their own state government. No one would believe that. So there is always the hand of government of India. So that kind of insincerity, a lot of insincerity, and how this during this ceasefire time, some officials were telling the Hebron officials, the NSN people were saying that more people were killed during this ceasefire time than during the conflict time. So you see, cross ceasefire violations, a lot of killing taking place. So all these things somehow started questioning younger generation, leadership will start questioning the insincerity of the government of India. So, like you rightly mentioned, if solution has to be hammered out, it will be best hammered out during the time of DH Muivah, who is among, because like you will know, there are many factions that has come out, but there is one clarity when it comes to the leadership among the Nagas, that now he is a legend. He has been the general secretary during NNC time, during late Uncle Kizo's time. So he is one leader who has led Nagas for so many decades. So under his leadership, If government of India is really sincere and really wanting to find a peaceful, negotiated political settlement, this is the time. During his lifetime, it has to be hammered out. Otherwise, it can create a lot of problems for the Naga people as well as for the government of India.
Sorry, I've been on mute. Sorry. I think that's thanks so much for shedding light on that, and that's very clear. And I mean, there is so much clarity in that. And my thought, as a concluding thought, was I was just wondering, had the government of Manipur opposed his visit this time, would the NSCN leadership, have visited anyway? What would be your take? What was their determination to visit this, to make this homecoming um, a reality? What was the determination? Would they have visited?
I think, like I was telling you in the middle of our conversation, that in 2010, as a student activist, as a young blooded youth leader, we were all very angry that, oh, Adon Kilonsa, you publicly stated that you will visit your birthplace, Ukrur, and then you have somehow, succumbed to the pressures and succumbed to the uh, oppositions from the state governments. You have reduced to the state level, and somehow you are not able to overcome, that obstacle at the state level. So that was the anger, and I'm sure that anger is shared by so many people of our generations, senior to us or our contemporary. But as we listen to the elders, I think for them, yes, if the ceasefire breaks down, it's different. It's a complete confrontation. But that also shows that Naga maturity, Naga sense of responsibility, that you cannot just overlook the loss of innocent lives. During 2010, if that aggressive military posturings from the government of Manipur, and supposing the equal measures, or if not more, pressure comes from military confrontation, comes from the NSN leaderships, then very well we can imagine the havoc, the casualties, and especially to the innocent, to the civilians. So I think the Naga leaderships always take cognizance of the of the safety of our people first. I think that is something that is one guiding principle. So this time also, I think I feel the same thing. Right now, they are in talks with government of India. I don't think the leaderships, the Hebron leadership, will, yes, if they break the ceasefire is different. They will be very, they can be very forceful. They can be very, I mean, literal in that sense. But so far, this ceasefire is there. I think there will be cognizance of how the repercussions to the civilians, to our Naga civilian, innocent civilian population. So I think they will make uh, good calculations. Based on that, I think they will make a move. So by going by that logic, I don't think if there is amicable environments and good understanding, and there should be a good understanding, because right now peace is something that even the Narendra Modi government is saying. The Manipur government now, it is indirectly or directly ruled by the central government, which is a branch of BJP government. So in a way, if the leadership at the New Delhi is trying to find a peaceful political settlement, then I don't think there is any reason why they should play any double standard. Or if there is any opposition, they should also do their equal part to ensure that environment is conducive. So that is the, I think, result that we are seeing through this visit.
Those are very interesting analysis, and I agree with you to the extent that without resolving the Naga political problem, I think we cannot envision peace in the northeastern states or maybe in the Southeast Asian region. So I think it's crucially it's of course significantly relevant for the government of India also to reconsider on resolving the Naga political problem at the earliest that they can. And you have laid out how to resolve and what time it should be, what will be the best time to resolve, and you have clearly laid out that this is the best time to resolve, at least during the lifetime of the innocent leadership, DH Muivah. I think if in his absence, it can get the problem can get more, you know, exacerbated, and I think that's nobody wants. Even the government of India themselves would not want that, and the ethnic communities, Nagas, made these cookies, and neighboring states and countries would not also like that. So in short, I mean, thanks so much for sharing your insights. This is really helpful and enlightening for me personally as well, as well as, I mean, for the people who have been watching us, our conversation online as well, I'm sure. So thank you so much, Mr. Zero.
You're welcome.
I
You're welcome.
really appreciate it.
A pleasure.
Yeah, yeah.
Pleasure
So
joining your show. Thank you.
looking forward to having more rounds of conversation in the future. Thanks so much, Mr. Zero.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.